Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Today is April 8th, 2020. So the 8 is all about strength, inner and outer strength, as well as the higher levels of manifestation, as in manifesting your dreams. The day adds up to 16, which is a 7. It's also the Tower. So sudden events, epiphanies, eruptions, explosions, all sorts of things could happen in that energy. But having strength within that situation. So I woke up at 9:04 this morning, and those are lucky numbers for me. 9 is the Hermit, and 4 is the Emperor. And then I did the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 10:39 to 40. So for those of you who don't usually watch my channel, this is a 7-deck read for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. It will affect the Divine Feminine's Inner Masculine as well, and it is a general read, so if it doesn't resonate with you, then don't force it to fit. Okay. So the main deck for the read is the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and like I said, that was cut at 10:39 to 40, which is the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups, really beautiful love energy, along with the 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And then I heard the birds again at 10:44. They sounded like the Close Encounters music. Dun, 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 like something like that. But it was reminding me of Close Encounters. It was the same birds doing that again today. And then when I was doing the mini deck, the King of Swords kind of flipped or slid onto the Moon card, which was in his space here, because he sees himself as the Moon today. And the King of Swords went on to that space on its own. And then I finished the read at 11:11. It was a very interesting read today. The code line, a lot of times when I get symbols that don't necessarily mean something to me, they may or may not have an effect on the read. But today the codes, these symbols were very direct as to what they meant, because when I got like 3 separate symbols that I didn't know what they meant, they then showed me a Chinese symbol that had all those symbols in them. So it was very cool the way the read came together today. The major arcana for this read are Starseed, which is like the Fool, Abundance, which is the Empress, Luna, the Moon, Alchemy, which is Temperance, and before the read, because I do pull a few cards on either sides of the read, we had Guidance and the Star. Guidance is like the Hierophant. And on the back end, after the read was Transition and Reason. Transition's like the Death card, Reason is the Emperor. So we had the Emperor and the Empress out here. And then we had 4 swords, 2 pentacles, 1 wand. There were no cups in this read, and a lot of swords, so a lot of being in the head, whether that's anxiety or just logical thinking and work, that kind of thing. And then we had court cards. All there was the Page of Swords. And before the read was the Knight of Pentacles, but that was it for the court cards. And they could both be messages. So the master may be spending a lot of time alone today or dealing with kids. We had double ones, so that 11 is there, Justice. And then the sequence 4, 5, 6, 7, Made in Heaven. But those 4 numbers came up together. And then the other numbers in a lesser sense were 12, which is the Hangman, 23 is the King of Wands, 34, which is the 8 of Wands, and 710, which then can be the 71 with source energy backing it up, and 71 is the 3 of Pentacles, or the co-creation energy. The code line was all about following your dreams, only the Y was covered, and it was saying follow our dreams. And the code line number was 7 from 6 and 1. So we had 6 of the Lovers, 1 of the Magician, equaling the 7 of the Chariot. And follow our dreams at the Y in the road. So, and the Y came up again in the symbolism. So it was very interesting because there wasn't a lot of symbols on the code line today. The number 6 was definitely there. That was probably the most prominent number in the code line, 6, which is the Lovers. And 6 for me also could be Sophia 9, which is the collective consciousness of the feminine. But here, ACT was coming up as well as ACI. So of course ACT is a test, but it also means acceptance and commitment therapy, which was very cool. So that relates very much to this read, because then we had FI, which is fidelity, along with some symbols. And until I realized what that symbol was, I didn't know what it was. So I was just going with it. But ACT is Airports Council International as well, which right now, obviously, the airports are very affected by what's going on. Also, American Concrete Institute. So I'm thinking, well, why is American Concrete Institute coming up? It probably has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, but it did. And then a white pickup truck slowed down in front of my house. So, of course, that's very masculine energy because it's a very big truck. That was at 11:29. And also ACT is just the word act, the doing of a thing, right? So when I went into Wiktionary to see all of my options for ACT and ACI, the word of the day was munchie, M-U-N-S-H-I, which I just sang out loud. I just realized I used to work with a doctor who was a friend of mine whose nickname was Munchie, so that's pretty funny. And also kind of sounds like munchies. But the word of the day was munchie, and it's in South Asia. It's a clerk or secretary or a language teacher of typically Hindu or Persian. So then that's where the Chinese symbolism came up as the second word of the day. But it was in Chinese, so I'm like looking for the word because I saw munchie, and I couldn't find the foreign word of the day because it was the Chinese symbol. It wasn't actually a word that I would recognize. So, and it was very small. But I did look it up, and then I was kind of picking it apart because all my symbols were inside this symbol. And the symbol in Chinese that came up as the word of the day meant to love, to treasure, to value, to be fond of, affection, and beloved. So the Chinese symbol for to love came up, and the three symbols that came up in my code line today were all a part of that symbol, which was very cool. So one thing was like a backwards check mark, and I'm trying to figure out why it's a backwards check mark. Well, the reason they put it backwards because they wanted me to know it wasn't a check mark, but that was actually one of the shapes inside this symbol. In the original version of the symbol, you know, obviously in that kind of symbolism, there's different little versions or just the style, the way someone writes them. Another symbol was the X from 6 that came up, but also the symbol next to the X, which was like a toggle that's on a forward slant, but with the line drawn out from it. So like an eye on a slant with a line in the middle coming out. So that symbolism also is in that I love Chinese symbol, as well as the letter D was only showing up the first part of it. So it was kind of like a squared off C, or like a staple would look like, exactly like a staple. That's also in the symbolism for I love in Chinese. So after that white truck had passed by, and I didn't know why they slowed down in front of my house, at 11:44, a silver truck pulled up into the driveway because my next door neighbor was having something done. But they were both these big trucks. And I'm pretty sure that it was white the first time, not silver. So that was kind of interesting, but just showing the power of the masculine, right? And actually in the movie that I was watching, I had started watching a movie and then turned it off because I didn't like it. It was too much cursing and violence. But there was all these big trucks that came in the beginning of that movie. And then I ended up watching Greater. So if you haven't watched Greater, it's the second time I've watched it. If you haven't watched it, you have to watch it because it's a very inspirational, beautiful movie. You'll definitely love it. But I noticed the numbers in Greater. So his football jersey number was 77, which is the sovereign, just like the twins. And then when he made it to the next team, his number was 66, which is the Queen of Pentacles. So the sovereign and the Queen of Pentacles are literally like mother and daughter. So it was funny because he was like taking a step down from the initial number of, or excuse me, would have been a step up. The 77 is the sovereign, like the younger energy, but independent, going up to the Queen of Pentacles, which would have been more motherly-like. Anyway, if you haven't seen the movie Greater, watch it because it's amazing. But the numbers were coming up, 66 and 77, because they're very significant in our journey. And so then ACT, the definitions of act were act, deed, action, enact, decree, behavior, statute, pretense, play, or scene. And then ACI was coming up as something that's legitimate, starch, flour, cement, of all things, after I was getting American Concrete Institute. Okay? And then it's actually the water mixture, right? It's the cement with the water. And then back came up under ACI, as well as, again, not fair, and in Romanian here, in this place at this time. So all of those definitions actually came into play as I went back to the code line. So alternating currents of the AC, which also can mean air conditioning, like I always tell you, because we're dealing with the King of Swords, and conditioning, the man of logic. So alternating currents in toggling up, or the masculine going back and forth between his feelings and thoughts, but needing to toggle up to the etheric realms to keep his vibration high, and fidelity, which was the backwards check mark after that, and the part of to love. And parts of the symbolism of that symbol were two other things. So one of the pieces in to love, this Chinese symbol, was the foot, and another part of it was the heart. So it's very interesting talking about like the root to the heart. And then along with the X. And the X plus the toggle on an angle, the slash toggle, that was the foot basically. And then that backwards check mark in a different position was in the heart, as well as the staple shape. That was a part of the heart and to love. So they all went into the to love symbol. So alternating currents or air conditioning, toggling up, fidelity are all parts of to love, an act or behavior or a play of love that is legitimate and is only cemented once it's mixed with water. And then I looked up the symbolism for water in Chinese, and it literally looks like 7K. And water, of course, is emotion, and 7 is very spiritual. And K for me has to do with energy. But it also came up as Kuan Yin, giving me an answer when I asked. So backbone also comes up because the back came up as a definition. But backbone was just coming up for me, and wishbone. And there is a procedure for your spine where you use cement when you have problems with your vertebrae. So it has to do with the structure and support, and strong support, but needs to be mixed with water, the emotions. You can't have a dry cement. It's not going to work, right? It's not going to stay stable. So the backbone and the wishbone, and one of the 7 actually looks like a wishbone in the water symbol, that it's not fair in this time and in this place. So again, alternating currents, air conditioning, toggling up, fidelity are all parts of to love, an act of love, or behavior, or play, that is legitimate and only cements once it's mixed with water, or emotion, that's 7K, and has backbone, wishbone, and is not fair in this time and in this place. And then when I was looking at backbone, for some reason I was guided to take the B's away, which then is Act 1. Without the T, it's like Act 1, but it's coming up as like Act 1. And then it was showing me the 1, because I remember the other day I was getting a half an arrow, right? So only half the tip on it. Well, that's also a check mark. It's just a different position. So it was showing me that the number 1, the way it's written with that little overhang on the top, as the number 1 is literally that check mark, and that same symbolism that's in the to love symbol, and is the same as number 7. 7's just more expanded than 1. So they were showing me how, and that was actually Kuan Yin coming up, showing me the 7 and the 1. And also the 7 and K was coming up as for the sounds were about like Kuan Yin, because there's a K and a Y within there. And then the 7 of being spiritual. And then I was getting, again, when the student is ready, the teacher comes. And here comes my language teacher, Kuan Yin. So then the numbers that came up from the code line were 5, 6, and 1. So I was getting ACT, A-C-T, 561 is what I wrote, because that's in the code line. And then I was seeing Act 5, Scene 1. The Hierophant starts off as the Magician, which then 5-1 is the King of Swords. So it's the 5-1 with the love in between, the lovers in between the Hierophant and the Magician. Act 561 equals Act 5, Scene 1, or the Hierophant starts off as the Magician, number 51, which is the King of Swords. So I put in 561 to the Bible wheel to see what would come up. And so that was very interesting as well. But not only that, but they give you the prime numbers when you go into Bible wheel. And the prime numbers listed for 561 were 3, 11, and 17. Or in other words, 33 times 17, which are all significant numbers for us, right? 11, 17, 117, 33, Christ vibration, and the star. So we had 3 times 11 times 17, and then it's also 33 times 17, or 51 times 11. The King of Swords times justice, and that could be Libra energy too, with the King of Swords, which is an air sign. So that was pretty cool. 561. So under the 561 on the Bible wheel, the first thing that I was guided to was Dan 8:8, which it said book 2, but you couldn't see the second number, so I don't know if it was 2 or 20 something, but I was seeing 288, which is the double of the 144. So Dan came up, and therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, for it came up 4, F-O-U-R, notable ones, toward the 4, again, F-O-U-R, the number, 4 winds of heaven. So again, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. The next one that I was guided to was Matt 18:18. And that was 40 something, I'm not sure which book it was, but 18:18, verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So then I turned the page and it was 12:21, and I came upon Mark 7:2, and 7:2 is the day I met my twin, so I always bring that up. But it came up, Mark 7:2, and this one was, and when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashen hands, they found fault. All right, so finding conditions of love, basically. Then two different acts came up, 3:8, which is the Queen of Cups, and 28:10, which is the twins in the Wheel of Fortune. So Act 3:8 is, and he leaping up stood and walked and entered with then into the temple, walking and leaping and praising God. And he leaping up stood and walked and entered with them into the temple, walking and leaping and praising God. Okay, and then Acts 28:10 was, who honored us with many honors. When we departed, they laded us with such things as were necessary. And then Hebrews 9:9 came up, which was a figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to the conscience. Okay, and actually conscience came up apart from this read for me today too, that word. So that was the 12:28, which is the hangman, and the 28, which is the two of wands or the twin flames. So again, saying there's a need for, blessings and things that may not be so easy for us, but it's not about punishment or literally like a sacrifice in the meaning of sacrifice. It's more of an act of love, right? What you do for your children never feels like a sacrifice because you love them. So it's not about doing things because you don't want to, because someone's making you do it. You only do things out of love. And, trying not to judge people as well, whose hands are not clean, so that can be figurative, but also literal. And again, the goat significant, and the 4 of the Emperor coming up, and the goat is the Capricorn energy of the devil. And we were dealing with that energy yesterday. And then backbone and wishbone, right? Having a strong backbone. And getting the long or short end of the stick, right? When you break the wishbone. So competition. So we started this read on the Starseed upright, and below it, over here, right? So we have the Starseed, and then below it, the 4 cards there. Our guidance reversed, Knight of Pentacles upright, the Star, and then Ten of Pentacles upright. So there's a fresh start with the Fool free to leap, with big bomb as a big bomb drops after perhaps a divorce, a break, or spiritual alternative beliefs. The Knight of Pentacles, humble servant of healing and dreams, and the ultimate dream family, or proposing to dream, or proposing to a dream family. The Fool is now free, walking away from an Emperor and the Page of Wands, or from control and inspiration, or by being controlled by the Emperor, and the King of Cups reversed may be working too hard and falls short, or literally fell in front of the Page of Cups, and that can be their child. Emotionally detached, walking away, carrying a large or heavy burden, or alcoholic is working too hard to detox and fell off the wagon in front of the Page of Cups. The Emperor in front of the Page of Wands. So it looked like there was two sets of dads and children, or grandparents and children, where the two different family parents or grandparents, they're both dads, have very different ways of doing things. So it's like one child was staying with the one grandparent, and one child or two children were staying with the other grandparent, the ones that matched those personalities. But it looked like the King of Cups was falling short in front of the child, and the Emperor was inspiring the Page of Wands. But it all, it doesn't have to be that way. The Page of Wands and the Page of Cups could be the inner children of the Emperor and the King of Cups reversed. So there doesn't have to be any children involved there at all. But it is about the starseed and a fresh new start. So there definitely could be two different fathers or grandfathers with kids, or just the two men with their inner children, one kid with each, or working out, perhaps hiking. But the Emperor may have pushed the King of Cups reversed farther than he could go, causing him to fall, with the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands witnessing it all. Or conditions of love and control of love, and kids learning by example. And the Emperor could be the King of Cups reversed, younger brother, and kids are now seeing the Emperor for who he really is, falling short of their expectations. So you know how, the big boss looks one way at work, but then when they're home with their kids or their brother, and their brother calls them out on stuff they did when they were little, a whole different side comes out. And that was the energy here. Or it's just the two men together bringing their inner children out, whether they're brothers or best friends or knew each other when they were little. It's like, becoming immature again because they're with their brother. The grieving Fool returning to the past with a bag and a flower and a loyal friend, suddenly coming together without judgment or without calling, with the Page of Cups child or puppy love. Perhaps Pisces child who likes to dress up or act or wanted to dance with you, or you had refused, being blocked by dark mother and father, or too much socializing or drinking or spell work, poor judgment, eating your words, or choked, not heeding the call to do the dance. Hava Nagila was coming up here, as well as shadow work, and couldn't break through the glass ceiling. Or the Page of Wands telling the Page of Cups, I've been holding you up, supporting you. First walked away and within, and then the controlling and tripped you up to get back, and now the Page of Wands again, supporting you fully as my true and inner child at 1251, which is the Hangman and the King of Swords. So I turn the pages, 1252, which is the Hangman and the Queen of Swords. The Lovers reversed in a breakup or lack of affection, and the Queen of Pentacles watching Leo, and it could be Leo rising, especially strong-arming Taurus moon, or those in a divorce or break in contract, and or the Queen of Pentacles is being strong spiritually, or in a breakup, or no affection at all. Or the Taurus tells Leo, mother or cleaning lady, to go to hell. Or the Page of Pentacles Taurus is on all fours with the tail between their legs, or this is Gemini or Leo. Or Taurus has been controlling or pacifying the Leo on her or her own ego in a breakup or with no affection, or dealing with difficult Taurus reversed or Gemini reversed, or Leo upright. Or Gemini reversed or Taurus is always messy and the Leo is irritated because they always have to clean up after them. Or the wife is treated like a maid by Taurus. Romantic feelings comes up here, and beneath that was children. And post-war, no more flirting or casual sex, acute suffering in silence, nightmares, and grounding and integrating tweets of love at the gate, but without your sunshine, Drained and tired of no love, the Knight of Pentacles offers something healthy and green, dumping old basket of fruit that may be tainted, or passing on fruit basket, passing it on that had been gifted that you don't want, or smells like stinky feet, so maybe it has cheese in it. Scissors, magnet, coin on the counter, or a stone pillar, positioned exactly according to feng shui. Points to keep away danger, and magnet to pull in coin. So what does it mean when someone is talking right in the entrance and not coming or going? Neutralizing, the calming factor. The bird feeder is also out to show you are giving, or looking back one more time together before starting a whole new chapter with someone else at 111. Before it's too late, or two others at the gate watch as the Knight of Pentacles takes off to recapture his sunshine, mumbling something to each other that he's crazy. So it's two people at the gate, them watching or maybe talking about him as he's going away. At 113, which is the Magician and the Death or Transition card, Transformation, is Parenting, which is 63, which is that Nine of Swords Suffering card, which, as we all know, parenting can be very difficult. And beneath that is Spiritual Career, which is 78, which is the Ultimate Dream Family. A very different energy. So parenting was on top, but before that came spiritual career. So first finding that really strong foundation of that perfect family, the dream family energy, and then dealing with the parenting stuff that may be harder. So getting the easier thing in order that makes you happy so that you have a better foundation to work on the parenting skills, which also just could mean parenting yourself or your parents. It doesn't have to be about your children. Needing to use intuition, or the secret is out. Standing up to light the torch, destined to come out of hiding in order to start over in love. Announcing final judgment, or a wake-up call, or just a call to say I'm sorry, I'm unhappy with myself, which then releases the prison or anxiety that you've been feeling. The Winged Emerald Order, keeping tabs on him, not getting his wish, is what actually frees him. Releasing all prior wishes, cords and attachments, and promises and vows, freeing self from internal prison or hell. Or perhaps realizing you don't want to be an air traffic controller, or someone finally got the job, but must release all drinking in order to keep a clear mind. Okay, so I was at 121. So either someone decided air traffic controller wasn't really what they wanted to do in life because it's a very high-stress job, or they got the job and now realize they can't drink at all, right? Because you have to keep a very clear mind. So 121 is the Magician and the World, so there's a closing of a cycle right there. And a release from prison, anxiety, drinking, control, defensiveness, lighting up, so smoking, pushing others away, and or over-isolating. Reigniting the flame pushes destiny in motion to clear all the crap out, like revving your engine. Clearing your mind, spring cleanup, a fresh start to be a pure child again, without commitments, or after you quit your job or got divorced, loyal, humble, authentic self is parenting himself. Reminding himself to use his intuition, like being his own parent, to follow guidance within, to follow your conscience. And if it's bothering you, then you might want to try a different decision instead of suffering in silence. So recent past is the Six of Swords upright, finding peace away from the wounded warrior, always in need of help, or an opportunist. I like that word. An opportunist who never learns when they can feed off of you. Why would they need to? Coming together to meditate in 5D may be heartbreaking for Cancer or in the Ascension journey, or a child went to church or a funeral service and cried all the way home, or the wounded warrior didn't learn their lesson if each time they came together for treatment, they cried all the way home. The Page of Wands upright without affection, coming together with the High Priestess reversed, and walking away patiently, or from a patient or Sagittarius. Didn't use their intuition and also walked away from patient or angel just when help was needed the most. The wounded warrior had been battling a long time, along with the Page of Pentacles reversed child in need of help, coming together in joy, or are meditating to purge and ascend, inspired without lovers to disclose all secrets and take walks, hikes, or exercise and be patient, taking one step at a time. So the underlying signs in this read were Taurus reversed, Aquarius upright and reversed, so it could be two different people. Aries upright a lot, Sagittarius reversed, Pisces upright, and they're more like children, Sag and Pisces. Scorpio upright, Gemini reversed, Leo upright and reversed, Virgo upright and reversed, and Libra upright. Finding peace, released from their mind to receive big downloads in a fresh perspective or a new start. The foundation is the Five of Swords reversed, post-war, of a happy ending of family or emotional cycle, with the Ten of Cups upright and dumping attachments that no longer serve. Grieving is the Queen of Cups, rushing in with the harsh truth. Was it the Queen of Cups? Yeah. So it's like the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So they can be two separate people, or it can just be the action of the Queen of Cups. So grieving the Queen of Cups, rushing in with the harsh truth, showing you how to find happiness in releasing all negative mindsets and emotional attachments, PTSD, and a need to steal others' ideas, that we don't need to compete with each other. There's plenty for all. The central energy here is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. No new money or loan, or lost an opportunity waiting too long. Justice, divorce, Libra with world upside down, or seal divine feminine in another world with epiphanies or sudden events or shocks, mind-blowing top, crown, or cover, or suddenly kicked out, or Cancer is put apart from the group. Libra is upright, Pisces reversed, and Scorpio is upright, since Libra and Cancer have been coming together in sleep and meditation, prayer, or just when relaxed. And as I turned the page, it went from 152, which is the Magician and the Queen of Swords, to 53, which is then the Knight of Swords, which I just brought up. And you can just be in a relaxed state to connect. You don't have to be in a full meditation. Post-war, preparing for a whole new life. The Page of Pentacles is reversed, in need of help, money, or opportunity, working to align with new opportunities and desires, creative pursuits. The challenge being the Four of Pentacles, or the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, holding on to his cozy, safe place, the Batcave, or the Crystal Room. The Devil, so that could be a guy's thing too, where he used to frequent the Crystal Room with a ladies' club or something like that. So Devil comes up as Capricorn and juggling the Two of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles at work, chained to the Queen of Wands, watching him, and the Ten of Pentacles and Empress, insecure and or manipulative, without the Queen of Wands or with her. Or the Divine Masculine is stuck between the abundant family and business and the Empress, manipulating him or threatening to take his tools, and then on the other side, the Queen of Wands standing up to others by spying or keeping an eye on him for them, being passive-aggressive, allowing the Divine Masculine back into the fold or group if he behaves himself, follows their rules, or feeling insecure and codependent if he comes together to co-create with the Empress and abundance, while the Queen of Wands is standing over him, bossing him around about money and perhaps being manipulative, not sure that he has the tools to cope with that. Dreams of sharing destiny, with Sovereign under the radar offering love and co-creating, or Aquarius is sharing with Libra, or working to settle out with each other, and the Sovereign and Page of Pentacles reversed under the radar. Big love there is presented, and they can be two children as well. Perhaps a group wants to keep their enemies closer, could be offering something to someone, considering a new addition, or working on a new position at work to then fill. Perhaps kids are working under the table, and one is independent but the other never learns, constantly needing help, and then the Fool is free to leap into deception, mirroring the moon, or mirroring the Grail. That's the question. Or during the full moon, things can be deceptive, so it's not a good time to make decisions, only a good time to release that which no longer serves. Perhaps free to settle out, or sharing, or Aquarius or Aries is deceptive towards the Queen of Pentacles under the radar, offering her love under the radar to keep her mouth shut or muzzle her, while presently romancing rich family, workplace, and or another woman or other women. The Queen of Swords upright could be that other person, or making out. There could be the karmic making out right in front of the flame, or Taurus, Aquarius, Aries, Virgo, Leo, Queen of Wands is flinging herself on the Divine Masculine in front of the family or in front of the workplace or in front of the twin flame to hurt them or mark her territory, show off, or to show her control over him. And that was at 222, which is that show about guidance counselors. Okay. Or the Queen of Swords and Queen of Pentacles secretly are connecting romantically. So this comes up a lot, that there's a female-female relationship here, who's someone who was married to their masculine, is now actually, he may have been having a relationship with a woman for a long time and he never knew it. Or this is something new where it actually could be her twin flame as well. So Queen of Swords and Queen of Pentacles secretly connecting romantically, Aquarius with Aries and Libra with Cancer, and the Queen of Swords dropping all emotional attachments to the man in the mirror, recovering and present to withholding of time, money, and energy, with the worst being over about bleeding out and insecure manipulations or no money, no tools. At 226 is the High Priestess and the Page of Wands. And that can be inspiring. So there definitely can be multiple situations here, depending on who they're dealing with. You know, there could be sisters involved here too. There's a lot. There looks like there's two women, though. They're definitely holding secrets from the masculine between them. So whether it's a love affair or money, like somebody could be funneling money through a relative or a friend, like having them hold it, or even someone who holds the money where the masculine's aware of it. But now that the situation's difficult, he may be worried that he might not be able to get his money back from them. Yeah, so definitely anyone who's been doing underhanded things like funneling money through relatives so they don't have to pay out in a divorce and stuff like that, it's going to come out. That's just the energy right now. So everything, you know, when everyone's, you know, minimalizing now and just doing what's really important, you know, to take care of what they need to take care of day at a time, it's like the water level dropping. So then all of a sudden everything's exposed suddenly. Everything that was covered for a long, long time, the water falls back, and then all of a sudden everything is just seen. It's all right there. So now is the Ace of Swords upright. The truth is present, finding peace away from patience or Sagittarius, or angel that's taking one step at a time. But this can be too, it could be the masculine is with someone who is too patient or takes things too slow, and he gets aggravated with them very easily. The truth of surrender to depression and strength of release, or depressed Leo or ego, is now free from their prison or thoughts. Surrendering to the truth, peace, and patience in a move, visit, or ending of a marriage that was imprisoning him, or a home that was a money trap. The Ten of Pentacles fantasy family, or the Queen of Swords and King of Wands, offering love to the King of Pentacles reversed, who may be ignoring them. So this also is the theme here coming up. So the King of Pentacles, obviously, he's the money man that everyone was going to for money before, and maybe before he did help everyone out. But now, in this situation, since he's being strapped too, and he may have lost a lot, he can't help those people anymore, and they may still be trying to go to him to help them out of a jam. So he's ignoring them now. Or the King of Pentacles reversed is bored with the same old Page of Cups and Queen of Pentacles, sovereign or teens, so be kids, or just people who act like children, unable to express their feelings in an all-business relationship. It could be a karmic lover or a love offer under the radar that is kept quiet so no one can talk about it, which can be the twin energy as well. Or the wealthy family is present to the flame romance, caught with their pants down by partner when he refused to push her energy away, or her literally away, the Queen of Swords. Caught him in a bliss state in need of his sunshine and freed by a hermit coming out inspired post-war, the Cancer triumphant over being abandoned and recovering on their own without an olive branch from her lover extended. Cancer dealing with two bulls, rod and lashes, setting self free with the truth and holding back a cycle of manifestation in order to achieve bliss state without being manipulated by others. Soon for the masculine is abundance, the Empress, or standing up to the Queen of Wands, or as the Queen of Wands, to hold on to what she's got without options, or the Empress is wide open, but the Divine Masculine is chained to the Queen of Wands with her eyes wide shut. No options post-battle in the never-ending story of suffering and silence, stressed out, up nights, not sleeping, headaches, whatever it is for you, purging, and grounding and integrating nature's offer of love from the wounded warrior. So, for some, this Queen of Wands could be it can be a karmic partner, but it can be a sister, right? Or sister-in-law or a friend as well. Or the Queen of Wands is defending her territory of the Empress with a business and a lot of money or family wealth, and then manipulating each other and keeping the divine masculine codependent and chained up with them. He sees himself as the moon reversed today, the King of Swords upright, though, being present in his knowing and keeping to himself to stay sane and balanced in Cancer energies. Now, and that can just reference the full moon energies or deception. Now working or getting up very early in the morning before dawn, because that can be the moon reversed as well, or just working towards the new moon, which is a better time to make decisions. Now that the full moon is over, kind of there's a relief. Thank God the full moon's done. So the Two of Cups connecting and frustrated but doing the dance, or frustrated about doing the dance. No sex relationship to perform and make money, and the King of Swords getting the short end of the stick. Or partners agree that they are unable to conceive of this clown or foolish performance. The cards from Romance Angels that came up for the masculine were pay attention to the red flags, which has to do with signs and synchronicities. Wedding, that the situation has to do with a marriage. Heart-to-heart conversations, attraction, and let go of control issues. The King of Swords is currently juggling 2 mindsets, and he's sitting in the lower one, but in his truth. So what does that say? Well, it doesn't feel good to see oneself when you're being authentic as the lower vibrational version when in their truth, but cannot ascend without being authentic to self first at 255, which is a High Priestess and the Ace of Wands, or Excalibur. Is that 1 or 2? Yeah, 255. So High Priestess and the Ace of Swords. Around the Divine Masculine are how he is seen as the 7 of Wands, rising to tango, to do the dance, above the drama. Coming clean, getting clean, working to align. That could be cleaning around the house too. Working to align, to co-create. The Devil or Capricorn waves, but chained to his other in arrogance, happy at work. Working on codependencies. So for some, a Divine Feminine may actually see her masculine with his partner, and he's, acting arrogantly happy as opposed to how he really is. Or he really is happy when he's at work, but not necessarily in the other situations in his life. So he's working on his codependencies. He needs to clear blocks of alchemy, suffering and silence, and implementing a plan to deceive his twin. So he may have blocks around alchemization, right? That it can happen. So he's because of fear is then going into how can I manipulate the situation to make it work for myself, right? Instead of being honest, to turn that nickel into gold. So follow your dreams came up, but even more so for the masculine here is adventure, self-love, and patience. The King of Wands is affectionate here, now that the worst is over, in the bliss state. The Page of Swords is spreading the word about recovery and ascension and being more present. The Page of Swords message of being wary, of being pulled or drawn back into manipulations, and hold back feelings or energetic exchange in order to create that magnetization, or the time, money, and energy or new life that you want. Recovery via withholding, in other words, abstaining, spreading the light, the truth, to the Knight of Pentacles, seemingly ignoring you while offering help, money, and opportunity, and suggesting even more deliberation or indecision in the awakening, or perhaps humbling self, even if it means he has to take back his own words, or it's like he's being nudged by someone else to tell the whole truth, pushing him to take action. Or the Page of Swords igniting awakening, which lit him on fire. So it's like someone pushing him to tell the feminine his truth, which this was his truth. That the Page of Swords, the feminine's small messages ignited the awakening, or perhaps going back to when they first met, and then eventually lighting him on fire. The Page of Swords upright, news, message, child, transiting this portal now to a connection of the Emperor and the Three of Pentacles. So the work situation with the Emperor, which that can be someone else or himself, but transitioning through without judgment or poor judgment, or refusing to announce or hear the call or just make a call, to awaken through the portal, to connect with higher self, God or source, which is the controller, in order to co-create. The Knight of Cups offering love to the Page of Swords, who may have a little something to say in return. Or the Knight of Cups is offering love for information at work. So they may be spreading the word that the Emperor is dead, or a partnership is ending, or at work with kids exchanging ideas. So, no guidance, as the Knight of Pentacles proposes dreams to abundance, or his mother, or the Empress, whoever it may be. He's proposing, maybe proposing something new, his new dreams, to family, business, or legacy for a fresh new start. Post-war, with deception, or perhaps cancer reversed, whether that's a person or disease state with someone around him, rising above the drama, finding peace, planning a new life, and challenged by the Divine Masculine's heart, his own heart, in the Batcave, and the comfort of that, and the abundance of the Empress, with open arms and being patient, to alchemize the whole truth that's lurking beneath the surface of a message, news, or Page of Swords child in a death and transition portal, or complete transformation of the Two of Cups and the reason, or the Emperor, or why the Two of Cups needs the Emperor to co-create, or news of an end of an Emperor partnership at work, or the fresh start to find peace post-war, or deal with PTSD issues and holding back for the whole truth, challenged by the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, clinging to his safety net, deception of abundance or Empress support, and rising above drama to alchemize a little truth or news, ending a partnership with the Emperor at work. And that was done at 3, 2, 1, jump. 3, 2, 1, jump. Just do it. That was the message for the masculine there at the end. And I'm kind of losing my voice this whole last part of the read. At 322, so either disconnect this partnership with the Emperor at work, or disconnect from parents or in-laws. So some kind of codependency on his parents or his in-laws is being disconnected here at 322, which is the Empress and the Fool. Finding peace without the pursuit of money and stuff, or in other words, superficial life. The truth and the abundance of the heart is coming clear to the masculine, and the earth and Gaia, and the need for emotion and affection in order to make things healthy. Or seeing the truth just below the surface, and voila, it's out there in a message as news. Learning to feel when the message is bubbling up beneath the surface, to recognize his own messages a little bit at a time. Okay, so that was the end of the read. So where are we? All right, so I can actually pull you some oracle cards today. All right, let's see what we have for you. I'm going to start, I'll start with the Kipper deck. Okay, let's see what we have here. So for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all that's concerned, what do you need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative, dark, or viral energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so this is from the Kipper deck. What is the message from this read? What was the point of this read, and what is our takeaway? All right, we have the man with concern, okay? And that, again, that's like that father energy. That can be that Emperor energy, but obviously he's concerned. And you notice it's also the number 33, which is the Christ vibration, and standing up for themselves with the need to not get defensive. And this has to do with work. And perhaps a child. So again, this could be, this doesn't have to be a little girl. It can be. It can be the inner child of this person working and this person thinking about them. Or this can literally be his daughter who's older. Perhaps he's a wealthy man, and so she's always been entitled under his umbrella, basically. So it's kind of that energy. Or this could be his daughter and his granddaughter, or this could even be his wife as well. Maybe he just had another child, or maybe just got word of that. Or this little girl keeps coming through as the source of unexpected income. So there may be inheritances at play based on who's taking care of this little girl. So I don't know what that means, but whatever it means to you. The underlying energy is the high honor and journey and toil and labor. Again, so here's the woman working very hard on the journey of high honor. And again, there could be a 3 or 6 gun salute here, and there's 3 men on each cannon. So 369 represents for me the 3D, 4D, and the 5D as well. And the wheels are turning, right? But on the cannons, they're wheels, but they're stationary, right? They don't move. So it's like spinning your wheels. There we go. So spinning your wheels, even though you've worked hard and you're on your journey in high honor, you still feel like you're spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere. And this is the underlying energy. So this happened already, whatever this was, some kind of change in the courtship and hard work in doing it to go on a journey of high honor. So that's like the masculine energy coming out of that energy. Okay. So from the energy deck, what do we have? What is our message of love today? Hope you guys are all feeling good today. The weather was just perfect outside today. And then there was a little bit of one of those really wispy rains today. It was so soft and gentle a little while ago. But most of the day was just gorgeous. I actually went out and pulled some weeds out of my garden today. Okay. All right, so from the energy deck, what is our message? Excuse me. What is it we need to know? Take a deep breath, everybody. What is our message? All right, that slid out. That was smooth. There's another card that wants to come out too. All right, so these guys just came out. Caring Connection 14, which is the Temperance card of the angels, and Yin Yang of 22 and the Fool, which is beautiful energy. That's the opening the heart and leaping into that new life. That's really beautiful and beautiful. Perfect balance of a masculine feminine relationship. Of the Fool, and that can be Aries and Sagittarius energy as well, with the Fool and the Temperance card. And then this wants to be seen too, which is coming out as the 3rd card, or the 3rd energy, or the 24 of the karmic energy, the end of karma. Adjacent possibilities, okay? So it's basically letting go of the adjacent possibilities, not like when you're passing the baton, not holding on to 2 batons at once, not waiting for the new one to show up in order to disconnect from the one that you shouldn't be with anymore. It's about making choices first, and then that allowing the right opportunity to come in. Because when you cling to those old things, you know, the universe doesn't go for that. You know, otherwise, then they do it, and they do it. It's going to be a harder way of getting out of the situation if the universe has to come in and kick your butt about it. All right, we also have Angel of Love wanting to come up, which is 49, which is the Get Your Wish card, 9 of Cups. And this is just that very loving, heart-based energy. But you see, it's about the relationship of coming together, and then there's somebody then who has adjacent possibilities who now has to start their journey of love, okay? So the underlying energy here is number 2, which is the journey again. There's your rainbow bridge, okay? And that's the High Priestess. Just want to see if there's anything in this card. Yeah, it's like when in the Wizard of Oz, when you get to the direction sign, and which way do I go? I have all these different signs, but which is the right way to go? Well, use your intuition. So the whole point of this journey is learning how to use your intuition instead of questioning with your mind. Okay. So let's go to Nature's Whispers today. Take a deep breath. Okay. Nature's Whispers. Whoops, sorry, they all came out of half the deck. All right, what is our message? What do we need to know? What is our takeaway from this read today, please? Be patient. She's always the message. All right, there we go. 25, keep your dreams alive. And 25 came up constantly yesterday, right? Which is the Knight of Wands. Keep your dreams alive. And that's very much about the inner child there, right? So just look at that for a second. The underlying energy, by the way, is the big picture. And I love the colors together here. The blues and the purples. So it's so much about the throat and up energies. The big picture, number 6, is the Lovers. And she's watching the new flowers bloom from Earth and the rainbows. It's like it's kind of representing the opening of the lotus and then the rainbow going around the world as she ejects that energy from her hand around the world. And as she sends the rainbow from her hands and her eyes, it causes Gaia to heal and grow even better. And she's got lots of sparkles and wings, right? Very angelic energy coming through as the underlying energy. So keep your dreams alive. She's very mysterious. She's got swirls of energy going on above her and below. But there's that, like, that diamond in the rough erupting from the earth. And it's almost like, you know, it's almost like this erupting from like a birth canal, right? With all this energy swirling around. But here's all the planets. And we have birds. It's like the whole planet's confused, right? This energy is like the fish are confused, the birds are confused, they're kind of stuck in one place, they don't know what to do. The planets are feeling that too. And it's just showing how one little child who sends love can make that all better. It's like making the boo-boo better. When everybody's confused, all you have to do is blow them a kiss and make them feel better. That's all it takes, is a little love to calm the world again. Because remember, here's that calm world from above, seeing it from a great distance. How it seems so peaceful and beautiful, and actually quite purple in this card. But when you come in closer, this is what actually everyone's feeling, to remind you that all it takes is a little bit of love to start smoothing things out again. It's just like, you know, when the big waves come in the ocean and slam you down in the sand, right? It's very disturbing, and you don't know if you're going to get up for air soon enough to breathe, and it's kind of crazy. But as soon as someone comes to take your hand, even if you're not out from underneath the water yet, you know you're going to be okay. It's kind of like that feeling. All right, so I'm going to give you a Metatron card, so I'll ask Metatron who wants to share. Would you like to share, Metatron? Take a deep breath. All right, for Metatron, any last words of advice? Well, they were very clear. Got 3 cards there, plus 1 actually. The bottom of the deck here is Kundalini, untapped energy. So again, focusing on your Kundalini, put your intention on your spine, on your heart, on your crown to open it up and allow the energy to flow. So every day, make sure you put your intention on your chakra system. And that's 35, which is the Wounded Warrior, right, to help heal yourself. And then these 3 cards came out together. We have the White, Purity and Innocence. 51 is the King of Swords, which was big in the read today. We have Air again with Flying Free. And there's the bird flying free. And this is like, this always reminds me of in Paris, you know, in the movie with Tom Hanks. What the heck is it called? You know what I'm talking about. But the pyramid above ground and the pyramid reflecting it below. That's what it reminds me of. And then here's the opposite ends of the coin, the one and the many, the collective. And this is 13, which is the transition of the diamond energy and the crystalline energy. Air, fly, flee. It's like bringing us to a lighter level so we can be more free. And then we have the authentic self. Who are you? So discovering here in a 3D sense, who actually are you? And then lightening the energy within your body to allow you to go to connect with the higher realms more easily. But it's really important to know who you are as well. This is 46, which is the Children of the Garden, the 6 of Cups, the 13 of the Transformation, and the 51 of the King of Swords. All right. So the King of Swords lightening up in the portal to become his inner child with his twin again. And again, here again is that reference of the vaginal birth or the rebirthing. And then this card wanted to come up separately, the message in the bottle, communication. So speak up and be heard, which is number 5, the Hierophant, which has to do with commitment, but it's about first committing to self. Okay, so communication, you do your inner communication first, so you understand what your intuition wants to tell you, and then you can speak. I'm going to give you a Crystal Angels card too. Oh, it's just one hour. All right. One last card for you guys. And by the way, those 3 cards, I didn't bring them up in the read. I put my little pointer. All right, we have the Journeyman, the 2 of Swords, and then the World. And it came up yesterday with another 2 in the middle. It was the 2 of Cups, though, yesterday. But it's like the holes are surrounding always the 2, of 2 minds, of 2 people. The one-on-one energy is so important, but also surrounded by the collective energies. So it's like the journey is, you're surrounded by indecision with the journey on one side and the world on the other. Okay, so let's see. What is this last card? It's for everybody. What is their last bit of advice? All right, that was very clear coming out. Stay strong in your faith, which is just what I brought up about those 3 cards. When you're surrounded by all these differing energies, you need to stay strong in your own knowing. A positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset, and that's dolomite, the stone. And it's that this is card, that beautiful pink energy. This yellow jasper wants to come out too. Control issues, that came up in the read today. Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. Well, no one can control you unless you let them, and you know that by now. So it's just about being present with an open heart in every situation and just ready to walk away when you need to. And say, you know, no one can speak to me like that if someone's being difficult with you. Or I'll be happy to talk to you when we're both calmed down at a later time. Or walking away because you're not going to deal with that person anymore because they're totally out of hand. So don't worry about someone else controlling you. Just always know in every situation what it takes for you to have to walk away because you're getting too triggered. Okay? And don't allow yourself to get out of control. All right, Malachite wants to come out too. Sorry about that. Prosperity, there's a positive shift in your flow of divine support. That's amazing. So the veil, it's very clear right now. I've been getting, if you haven't watched the video from yesterday, you must watch it. I've never gotten so many messages. I literally had 11 pages in that read. So I was getting all these downloads before I even got all the cards down on the table. So Malachite, yellow jasper, and dolomite. The bottom of the deck is apophyllite. Increased support, your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened the doorway to an abundance of help and opportunities. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you the cards. Okay, with the Starseed underlying energy there. Recent past, the 6 of orbs or swords. The foundation card here is the 5 of orbs with the clarifications. And the center is the Ace of crystals, but that was reversed today. Challenged by the Divine Masculine's heart. You see him there in the back cave, the 4 of crystals or pentacles. The other underlying energies there, crowning is the Ace of swords there, the blue with the moony type thing in the water. There's a dolphin in that card as well. And then we go across the 40 bridge to the abundance card, which is the Empress. She's upright today. Masculine seeing himself as Luna or the moon reversed, and around him or how he is seen is the 7 of flames upright. Tangoing above the flames or the drama. The blocks that he needs to clear has to do with alchemizing. And then we end up here on the page of swords upright. Follow your dreams. Look at all the teal energy there. And then the more orangey sacral energies as well up top. And above the page of swords is the transition or death card upright. And then we had the 2 of cups you see over here where their heads are sticking up. And then we have the emperor, the reason card above that. He's also upright. And then we end up on the Three of Pentacles, which is also upright, and the Knight of Cups and the Page of Swords. Okay, the yellow and the pink is the underlying energies there, but we went into this energy today, the teal and the orange. Okay, so sacral and teal can be above. You can look up your chakras online, but there's some teal energies above your head, but also it can be energies from between your heart and your throat as well. Okay, guys, make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. Be great to yourselves. Rise and be love.